So guys, once again, I'm in front of you and the live session we have just started. तो अभी just live session start हो गया है and as I told you that I'll be dealing with new historicism and some other concepts. So we are going to deal with existentialism, then we will go for new historicism. अब दो topics आज हम cover करेंगे इस session में. We are going to finish these two topics. The first one we have existentialism. Here you have to understand this idea. When we talk about existentialism, it is also connected to absurdism. As in offline Google Drive, I already have taught the idea of absurdism and existentialism. So I tell you what exactly is existentialism and absurdism. See, Jean-Paul Sartre, when he won the Nobel Award, he was given the money and the award. He denied to accept the award and said that I'll deal with the money only. जीन पॉल सात्र ने मना कर दिया अवार्ड लेने से पहले और उन्होंने बोला कि मुझे अवार्ड नहीं चाहिए, पैसे दे दो. Now imagine what kind of understanding is this, and what is your concern, your emotions, your feelings about a man who has won Nobel Award but simply says that all I want is money, not award. Why? Just think about it. कैसा लगेगा आपको? Imagine if I get best teachers award. Suppose Indian government gives me some education award and I say no, I don't want any award, give me then 25,000, 50,000, 100, 1,000, 1 lakh, right? तो आप बोलो रे यार, what kind of teacher he is, oh so greedy, पैसे चाहिए इसको, he wants money, he doesn't want. Reality is that survival is the only truth. Rest, icons, symbols, symbolic things, emotional connections with things, some index, brand value things, it's all fake. Many of you are gold medalists. Many of you are gold medalists. But do you know this thing that your gold medal is not made of gold? Have you checked your gold medal? It is some base material, something very bronze, brass, but it is not gold. Why it is called gold medal if it is not gold? Symbolic. Who gave this symbolic value? Education system. It means if this is not education system, that thing has no value, right? If you go with your gold medal and you go to a vegetable vendor, you say give me 2 kg potato, I have gold medal. No value, nothing. In short, Jean-Paul Sartre wanted to prove this thing that all types of name, fame, glory, awards, shields, it's all fake. The only thing to survive, surviving is the reality, and to survive we need money because that is the truth, the contemporary truth, the reality, right? If you get food, if you get luxury without paying money, you will never need money. This is what we call existentialism. ये एक existentialism की philosophy है. अस्तित्ववाद. ना your surname, your religion, your gender, your mindset, approaches, all of these things are given to you. All of these things are fake. These things are attributed to you. Remove your surname. The moment you remove your surname, you forget your surname. Suppose something happens and you forget your surname. If you forget your surname, the first thing that will happen to you is you will forget your religion. You will forget your caste. So you are free from religious limitations. You are free from caste limitations. You are free from gender limitations. If you forget your first name also, you are free from all social obligations, right? I am eating pani puri. I am eating golgappa. Some students come, hi Vineet sir. I will have to shift to my new behavior. I will have to talk formal. Yeah. It means I'm living a fake life. Point is, the ultimate truth is survival. That's the only truth we have. We exist. Existentialism is a philosophy about this thing. So let's go for this topic. थोड़ा सा उसको देख लेते हैं आपके लिए, हल्का सा उसको छोटा कर लेते हैं so that you are able to read. Existentialism is a philosophy promoted especially by Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus. In offline batch, Google Drive and online, I have told you to read Albert Camus. It's very important. इनकी दो किताबें पढ़नी है. I'm repeating once again. Either you read Outsider, English version, or the same book in French is called Stranger. Stranger, same book. So Outsider is the English version. And Albert Camus has written one more work. That work is plague. That work is plague. So read plague. So there are two works. So the best thing is that what I'll do, I'll tell you this. Please read Albert Camus' Plague and Outsider. Now we have to talk about one more book, The Myth of Sisyphus. Existentialism is a philosophy promoted by these guys that views each person. Point to be noted, बहुत important है. ये view करता है each person as an isolated being. आप अकेले हो, who is cast into an alien universe and conceives the world as possessing no inherent human truth, no value or meaning. आप अकेले हो, you are all alone, you are isolated, you are casted in an alien universe, you do not know this world, you are all alone and there is no inherent truth, there is no truth, there is no value, there is no meaning. Your parents are against intercaste marriage, right? Why? Values, religious values, casteist values. Now, if you tell your parents that the person I have chosen or the girl I have chosen is the billionaire, how many parents will say no? Don't show this video to your parents. Otherwise, they'll be angry. Oh, this man is spoiling you guys. ये बिगाड़ रहा है आपको. Tell me. कभी होगा that India's top 10 rich family, I'm getting married to that boy, but the caste is not okay. Nobody will say, "Arey beta, we are liberal, we are cool." The values are proportional. Relative value होती है, यानी कि moralities, values, things change. Truth. Every person has his truth. Duryodhan thought Duryodhan was right. Arjun thought Arjun was right. They have their own truth. So moralities, meanings and truth are not stable. So you are alone living in an unknown alien world where there is no truth. So whatever you are living is fake. My name, surname, it's all given to me. It's not original. My teaching career, it is not original. I opted it because I had to survive. Whatever I'm doing right now, it's just because it is my duty to teach you. So I'm not doing anything real. So the philosophy simply says, and you know what? This philosophy is by Bhagavad. It's in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Krishna said the same thing. It's in Quran Sharif. It's in all religious books where they say that there is just one God, one Almighty, rest all. It's all created. It is Mohamaya. It's materialistic. It's fake. And one should always understand these things are fake. A person's life, let's take it in like this. A person's life then, as it moves from the nothingness from which it came towards the nothingness. ये कहते हैं जीवन क्या है? What is life? Life starts from nothingness from which it came and towards the nothingness. Remember William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is also studied as the first existential. Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So it starts with nothingness, it ends with nothingness. And simply, it must end, defines an existence which is both egoist and absurd. अब इसके बीच में जो आपका जीवन है, from nothingness to nothingness, your life, people can call it absurd, you call it existentials. Yes, once absurd is once existential, once existence. हिंदी में सिंपल एग्जाम्पल, आपकी फालतू जो लाइफ है, जो दुनिया कहती है फालतू है, दुनिया कहती है व्हाट अ लाइफ, ओ नो मीनिंग, यू हैव योर मीनिंग. सो फॉर यू इट इज एग्जिस्टेंशियलिज्म, अस्तित्ववाद. फॉर अदर्स इट इज absurd, the hippie lifestyle. For the normal people doing normal duty, normal job, salary, family, wife, kids, income, they see the hippie world and say they are absurd. For hippies, those 9 to 5 slaves are absurd. And they both have their own existence. So it is your mindset. You can call it absurd, you can call it existentialism. Now see this, we have to go for the theoretical approach, क्योंकि बहुत अच्छा topic है, but ये philosophy है. This is also a famous line. Then you have to see. Man is condemned to be free. Sartre's famous line, आप आजाद होने के लिए आपको सजा मिली है, आप आजाद हो, क्योंकि then you are meaningless, you are visionless. See, a dog who is adopted by a family is a happy dog because the dog finds sense of belongingness. But the dog who is just free, if that dog doesn't belong a sense of belongingness with a street guard or sitting around some house, that dog will die. So we need sense of belongingness which survive, and that is our punishment. So ये atheist की बात भी करेंगे. They talk about the religion, whether the religion exists or not, God की value है या नहीं है, and then they come to some theories. The theories are that if God is not there, it is better we create the God. Leap of faith. This concept is called leap of faith. They say that if God is not there, then we seriously need a God. We need to create a God. Now see, the major writers. So this man is a big philosopher. Nietzsche is a big philosopher. His famous philosophy is God is dead. God is dead philosophy. Remember this point by Nietzsche. Then Martin Heiser, philosopher, thinker. Then Jean-Paul Sartre. You can just simply read his famous work, Emily, or you can just avoid this. He has also written Nausea. You can avoid this work. Then Simone de Beauvoir. Simone de Beauvoir has already given contribution in feminism. Albert Camus, I have told. These two writers are not very important. You can ignore. These writers can be ignored. Now, what to read in this man? No, nothing. कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है. Last time exam का. Just remember Nietzsche's God is dead philosophy, God is dead concept. Martin Heiser, just remember the name of these two people to connect it. You can avoid Sartre also, but focus on Albert Camus. Now, when you focus on Albert Camus, जब आप Albert Camus पे focus करोगे, तो वहां पे आपको एक point note करवा देता हूं. That's very important point. The term absurd has been coined by Albert Camus. The term has been coined by Albert Camus. In the famous book, The Myth of Sisyphus, 1942. The Myth of Sisyphus, 1942. Albert Camus coined the term absurd. Some students make a mistake. They say, sir, it is Martin Esslin. Please remember, Martin Esslin coined the term the absurd theater. The absurd theater group, or you can say the school of absurd theater. The absurd theater school. The absurd theater school, 1961. Timing 1961. So please check this thing. Please be confirm about this. It can be a very good question, repeated question. The myth of MYTH, the myth of Sisyphus. Then the school, the group was formed by Martin Esslin. ये दोनों याद रखना. This is 1961. That is 1942. Now let's go for the other details. A term used to describe existence, a word without inherent meaning or truth. Absurd is something which is betuka, which is different. See, many of you have some particular habits. For example, when you are studying, some of you eat the pen like this, some of you keep the pen. You do that. Some of you have a habit of keeping the pen here. Some of you do this, or some of you have some body habits like shaking your leg. What is the social meaning of these things? No, nothing, no contribution. But then it's your style, it's your existence. So people call it absurd, but not you. आपके लिए existence है. So remember this point, the absurd, which is describe your existence. People call it meaningless or meaningful. It's their opinion. तो जो absurd है वो दुनिया के लिए absurd है, आपके लिए नहीं है. Then second thing, the idea of authenticity. See, authenticity is the simple idea. If you're doing good or bad, who is going to appoint it? Who is going to fix it? The society. So authentic or authenticity's idea is totally formed by society. If you want to get married to someone, and you elope, you run away, people say it is wrong. Why? Because it is society. Society says it is wrong. So society says it is not authentic. But then you guys call 200 people in your wedding, proper music, celebration, sweets, party. People say it's authentic. But who has that power to call it authentic or it is not authentic? Simple. Authenticity is given by the group of people, society. So here, if the authenticity is questioned, it is the individual. When you make individual choice, society doesn't understand it. They simply say that this thing is not authentic. Then comes the theory of leap of faith. So in authenticity reference, we have talked about this. It is what people do. So you should also do. But see here, in leap of faith, he says, if God is not there, it is better to invent the God. Soren Kierkegaard की term है, वो simply कहता है that religion, it is inherently unknowable and filled with risk. Faith required an act of commitment. Religion itself has a lot of issues. People do not trust religion 100%. What makes you trust your religion? आप ऊपर वाले में विश्वास क्यों करते हो? Act of commitment की वजह से. This is called leap of faith. The commitment to Christianity, because they are Christians, would also lessen the despair of an absurd world. So what they say, what leap of faith is? Leap of faith is a simple philosophy that you do not believe in God. If you do not believe in God, start believing, because you are unknown person in an unknown universe with no moralities, no truth, no connection. Remember Bhagavad Gita, what Gita says, you came alone, you will die alone, your friends, your enemies, there is nobody, you will die, you are just a soul, you have a span of time. It's just me, one God. That's what he says. He says we should have the act of commitment. हमारे पास act of commitment होना चाहिए, leap of faith होना चाहिए. In this absurd world, as Christianity is saving them from despair, just like that, the religion can save you. So ये terminology मत भूलना. Leap of faith जो terminology है Soren Kierkegaard की, ये बहुत important है, क्योंकि इसमें ये बोलता है कि if God is not there, invent the God. Better we invent the God. They'll simply ask you a question भी है नेट का. In which philosophy? The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard says that if God is dead, invent the God. Nietzsche said God is dead. He says invent the God. Leap of faith is required. See, right now, if we say God doesn't exist, God hai nahi, there will be a chaos. There will be a disorder. People will start fighting because 90% people, those who do not want to do crime, are God-fearing people. Imagine karo, just think, किसी दिन clear हो जाए that there is no God. We are lab products. Aliens made us. There is no God. There is no sin. There is no hell. All the vegetarians will become non-vegetarian. Why the vegetarians are not non-vegetarians? Because they are fearing hell, God, punishment, fire of hell. So the concepts will be changed. Right? You know, people feel guilty. If you have lust, you feel guilty. If you are jealous, you feel guilty. Right? So point is that if God is not there, or the philosophy, moralities, they fall, people will die. One of the greatest philosopher of existentialism is Osho, Acharya Rajneesh. Acharya Rajneesh simply said, Vasana se bhago nahi, Vasana ko jiyo. If you feel lusty, don't feel bad, don't feel ashamed of it, don't hide it, live it, feel it, because that lust is coming naturally. So he's an existential philosopher. He says that your bodily needs are actually the real needs. So if you curb it, you control it, you are killing your naturality. So Osho, you know, a lot of people are fan of Osho. They read, they do these things. Then the next theory we have is Phenomenology and Hermeneutics. Both are very small theories, simple theories. It is a philosophy by Edmund Husserl. Please remember this. Please का नाम नहीं भूलना. ये recently Maharashtra set का question था ये. Edmund Husserl has coined the philosophy Phenomenology reduction. The full theory is called Phenomenology reduction. Note it down. इसको note कर लो. Name of this man, Edmund Husserl, is very important. He simply proposed, देखो first developed by, he simply proposed phenomenological reduction, the phenomenological reduction theory, so that everything is not imminent to consciousness must be excluded. All realities must be treated as pure phenomena. बस सिंपल, बहुत प्यारी थ्योरी है, बहुत खूबसूरत थ्योरी है. He simply says that something, if it is not imminent to your brain, something doesn't come to your brain immediately. If you are not able to understand certain things, leave it, accept it as the phenomena. Do not be conscious about understanding, learning something. अगर कुछ तुरंत समझ में नहीं आता है तो तुम्हारे लिए बना ही नहीं है. एग्जिस्टेंशियल फिलॉसफी है, जीवन जियो. तुम्हें समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या हो रहा है, तो नो नीड टू हैव दैट क्यूरियोसिटी. लेट्स बी ओके. नॉट लाइक द पीपल हु गो एंड वॉच व्हाट जेसीबी इज डूइंग इन द विलेज. जेसीबी गांव में आती है, सब जाके देखते हैं जेसीबी क्या कर रही है, क्या कर रही है. व्हाई डू यू हैव टू गो, व्हाई डू यू हैव टू वॉच? तुम्हारा लेना देना नहीं है, तुम्हें खुदाई करनी नहीं है. So let the person be concerned with JCB engineers and people on site. Why the village goes and checks what is happening. He simply says something which is not imminent to your conscious brain should be taken like that only. That's phenomenological reduction. Reduce the phenomena around you. Do not take a big world, take a small world with your limited understanding. But please do not apply this theory in your exam. पढ़ते पढ़ते थ्योरी अप्लाई मत कर देना कि सर समझ नहीं आ रहा था तो छोड़ दिया. आपने ही कहा था सर समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो जाने दो. Hermeneutics. See, William Dilthey's original reference of hermeneutics and E.D. Hers, ये दोनों नाम याद रखना इसके साथ. He simply says interpretation है. ये थ्योरी जो है डील करती है इंटरप्रिटेशन से. मैसेज कोडेड decoded and आगे passed. From here, code, decode, and here the message gets changed. Have you heard about this thing that you said something to someone, that someone added a lot of spices in it and conveyed it to someone? तिल का ताड़ बनाना, राई का पहाड़ बनाना. You must have heard it. That is hermeneutics. What you understand, then you have your own interpretation, understanding, and then what you convey. The meaning gets changed through multiple medium. That is hermeneutics. What you say, what they listen, what they convey is hermeneutics. Raju the guide, in the famous book by R.K. Narayan, Raju tells his attendant that if it does not rain, it doesn't mean I will not eat. अगर बारिश नहीं होगी तो क्या मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा. He says कि if this does not rain, if it doesn't rain, this doesn't mean I will not eat. I will eat. But then that listener, that attendant, he thinks Raju is saying that if it doesn't rain, I will not eat. He communicates it to others. So it is the theory related to interpretation, the hermeneutics, how the meanings are transferred, meanings are changed. That's a simple theory. Then we have to go for this Daisy, and ये कॉन्सेप्ट आपको दोबारा करा दूंगा क्योंकि इसमें ज्यादा टाइम लग जाएगा. ये मैंने आपको करा दिया है phenomenological reduction, the phenomenological reduction that I've done. इसको समझाने के लिए थोड़ा सा मुझे आपको बैकग्राउंड और देना है, तो we'll take a next lecture on this thing. डायरेक्टली इसको नहीं लेंगे. So what I'll do, I'll teach you this point once again, hermeneutics, so that I can teach all these things. Otherwise, what will happen? To talk about this, I will have to take reference of structuralism. ये दोनों की बात करने के लिए मुझे structuralism लेना पड़ेगा, तो मुझे डेप्थ में जाना पड़ेगा. I'll have to go in the depth of those things. So let's finish new historicism first. पहले टारगेट्स को खत्म कर लेते हैं. क्योंकि इसके बाद ये structuralism अगर शुरू होते हैं ना, we have done these theories. ये स्मॉल ग्रुप्स हैं, सरलिज्म वगैरह, ये भी आपको कराऊंगा. बहुत बेसिक चीज है, करना कुछ नहीं है, बस इसका नाम रखना. इट्स एन आर्टिस्टिक मूवमेंट, मॉडर्न आर्टिस्टिक क्रिएटिव मूवमेंट. बस ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ दिस मैन, एंड्रे ब्रेटन. सररियलिज्म, अ मॉडर्न पोइट्री मूवमेंट, आर्टिस्टिक मूवमेंट. इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करना है, जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस, एंड्रे ब्रेटन. छोटे छोटे मूवमेंट्स है ये. ये हमने क्लास में किया हुआ है, वी हैव डन दिस इन क्लास. Semiotics we have done, binary position we have done, methemes we have done, sign versus symbol in structuralism we have done. चलो इसी बहाने आपका वो भी हो जाएगा कि हमने क्या क्या किया है. Sign signifier, signified, differ, defer, difference that we have done. Structuralist narratology, Vladimir Prop we have done. Post-structural deconstruction we have done. Aporia, then metaphysics of absence, metaphysics of presence we have done. Derrida we have done. अपोरिया हमने किया था, याद है ना आपको? अपोरिया किया था हमने. साथ साथ देखो डिफरेंस, डिफर, डेफर, डिफरेंस किया था हमने. We did differ, differ, difference. Then we talked about eraser, putting up things in bracket. Eraser की बात की थी हमने. Then logocentrism and phonocentrism, we talked about this. Language-centered structure. How the meaning is in text only, metaphysics of absence, metaphysics of presence. Then you can go for the nearest possible word, supplement. Then trace concept. How do we trace? How do we create an understanding of the title? Then transcendental signifier, which is impossible. It's not easy to be found. Then postmodernist की हमने terms discuss की थी. Paranoia and all. Here we have to go for this. Culture studies reference, new historicism. क्योंकि this is also called cultural poetics. So now we are here. First, what you have to do is underline this. Cultural poetics. New historicism is also called cultural poetics in 1970s and 1980s. So see this thing, it was actually a reaction to old historic studies, old traditional criticism. Old traditional criticism. It was a reaction to old traditional criticism, also called old historicism. See, new criticism and a historical approach to new historicism. So they were just talking about this thing that historically we are dealing with literature, we are understanding literature in reference with writers' personal life, writers' connection with the book, then social issues, historical issues and other kind of criticism like historical, biographical criticism. हम लोग इस तरह से लिटरेचर को पढ़ रहे थे. Literature was seen as a mimetic, a copy reflection of the historical world. लिटरेचर को ऐसे देखा जाता था कि दुनिया की सिर्फ कॉपी है और it was produced from that historical reference. और ये देखा जाता है कि जो हिस्ट्री है ये हिस्ट्री सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्टेबल है, लीनियर है एंड रिकवरेबल है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है. If you study the history of any age at that time also history was not stable. Time is not stable, context is not stable, it's moving. So when you say 1947's India, so it was not fixed India. Every day there was an evolvement. So new historicism जो है ये इसको नए तरीके से देखता है. अब इसमें देखो एक बेसिक चीज आपको बताता हूँ. They read society again and their understanding of society is totally different. So first of all underline some names जो आपको याद करने हैं. Stephen Greenblatt, famous book Shakespearean Negotiation. Michel Foucault, Discipline and Punishment, History of Sexuality. इनके ये famous books हैं. इसके अलावा लुइस मॉन्ट्रोस, इनको आप देख सकते हो. He also did study of Elizabethan literature. Clifford Geertz, इनको देख सकते हो. And maximum इसको और देख सकते हो, Jonathan Dollimore. बाकी mainly ये दो हैं. See, they are highlighted also. They are main. Now see, the first term we have discourse. See, the simple idea is discourse क्या होता है? तो it is a term, discourse is a term coined by Michel Foucault. Term is coined by Michel Foucault. Please remember, discourse का मतलब होता है social context, any given social context. So that is what we call discourse, a social structure. जिसमें law, medicine, the law discourse, legal discourse. If you are surrounded by religious people, the church, the medicine, it is discourse. Small social context. आप और मैं, we are studying together, this is academic discourse. You go to a tourist place and all the tourists are there. That is a tourist discourse. A particular small undergroup context where the language works as a tool. यहाँ पे language आपस में help करती है to be communicated. Now see, once you understand the discourse, he simply says, in any discourse established, we have a power relationship between people. हर जगह पे एक पावर रिलेशनशिप मिलेगा. किसी भी सोशल स्ट्रक्चर में पावर कंट्रोल मिलेगा, पावर रिलेशनशिप. If 100 tourists are there and they are all trapped, suppose there is an avalanche. एक avalanche होता है, 100 टूरिस्ट फंस गए हैं. कौन से टूरिस्ट लीडर बनेंगे? The young ones. Young, experienced, energetic, who have some confidence. The power structure will rule, right? So everywhere the power structure leads. Then comes the idea of episteme. Knowledge. Episteme is again the same term coined by Michel Foucault. Please see this. Episteme means knowledge. Knowledge always defines. Foucault employs the idea of episteme to indicate a particular group of knowledge and discusses which operate in concert as the dominant discourse in any given historical period. किसी भी हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड में या किसी भी ऐतिहासिक जगह पे किसी भी सोशल स्ट्रक्चर में या तो पावर स्ट्रक्चर की बात होती है, पावर रिलेशनशिप, या नॉलेज. या आपके पास पावर होगी या नॉलेज होगा. सो ऑल दीज educated people, they had knowledge, so they qualified IAS, they became powerful. Powerful people can afford costly coachings. Costly coaching give them knowledge. Knowledge, power, power, knowledge. According to Foucault, society में सिर्फ दो ही चीजें operate करती हैं. According to Foucault, only two things operate in a society, and these two things are power and knowledge. Now, and either the power brings knowledge or knowledge brings power. It is interconnected. Knowledge brings power, power brings knowledge. So please remember this thing, it's interconnected. Now, in any social structure, to understand a society, you must understand the power structure and the knowledge structure. Jaise upper caste, lower caste. So in India, the power structure declared themselves as upper caste. They started controlling schools, colleges, admissions so that they can have knowledge. Power knowledge relationship बोलते हैं इसको. This is called power knowledge relationship. Power we have already talked, right? The power. Episteme we already have talked. Then comes self-positioning. Self-positioning is simple. When you study any given context, any social surrounding, all you understand is that you are equally the part of it. So what you do when you become the part of some social understanding, you have your own understanding because you are the part of it. आपका self indulgent होता है. When you analysis, you go for some analyzing of a subjective thing, you have your self indulgent. When you read something, when you develop some kind of opinion, if you are making an opinion about the society, then you equally are the part of it. Self positioning is an important term, please को याद रखना. See, self positioning में एक simple सा मतलब क्या है, दोबारा देख लो. You are the part of society, so आपका self indulgence बहुत जरूरी है. Your own involvement will decide what's your perception. For example, let's make it very easy. If you support party A, party B will hate you. Why? Because they will take you as an enemy. But you cannot be the enemy of party B. Or if you say party A is bad, party A people will say, oh, you are party B, because you are the part of that social shit, social mud, right? As we were fighting for students, results, fair examination. So some people said that we want to support our weak students. Somebody told me that we are doing it so that I can just save my weak students from being failed. This kind of approach. They said that I want the exam to be postponed so that all my weak students, they get chance to read. They have this kind of mindset. So point is, if you are the part of society, whatever you do, you will be connected because we are in binary opposition. If you don't follow God, people will say you are following devil. You are affected by devil. Devil has controlled your mind because you are the part of society, right? If you say women are bad, people will say that, okay, so you are a patriarch. You will immediately have an identity. You live in that society, right? If you say democracy is bad, people will say you are dictator. If you say dictatorship is bad, people say, oh, you are democratic. You will be immediately indulged because you are the part of society. You are not away from it. People will start blaming you. Even if you die for people, some people will come and say, oh, he was bored of his life. He wanted to die, so he found a good thing, a good way to die. Then comes thick description. Again, a very important term. Recently, questions have been asked in Himachal set. Remember the name of this man? This was question. Thick description is that read each and everything. He says, minute study of society is required. Minute study, gehen adhyan. He simply says, to describe the seemingly insignificant details. He says कि focus on all insignificant details present in any cultural practice. हर society को समझने के लिए, if you want to understand a society, don't go for the above level standard. Go for the in-depth understanding. See, the surface level understanding says that India is a good place for women. Yatra naryastu pujante ramante tatra devta, right? But when you dive deep and you see the layers, you will find out reality. In 9 days, we pray for Mata, Ma, Durga, 9 roop of Ma. Then why there are so many mothers expelled from their houses? That's deep-rooted reality. Thick description simply says to understand any cultural practices, go for even insignificant details, read those things seriously, get involved in these things. Now, focus on these terms, terminologies, names of writers, because your terms or writers के question ज़्यादा मिलेंगे. In theory, you will have direct question. This term is coined by. Thick description has been coined by. Hasselflaut's famous term has been coined by. So these kind of things that you have done, please take pen and paper, write down these things and start revising. See you in the next class. And also stay tuned for any question, any queries. If you have any question, any queries, there are numbers on your screen. Drop your question. I'll answer those things personally. See you tomorrow again and let's go for next class. Thank you so much.